Evan Carr stepped off the small transport shuttle and onto the bustling platform of Clither Station, the largest spaceport in this part of the galaxy. The air smelled faintly of ozone, alien spices, and machinery oil. The platform itself vibrated slightly beneath his boots, a subtle hum from the hovering ships that glided in and out of docking bays. Everywhere he looked, aliens moved with purpose, some with the elegance of creatures evolved for speed, others lumbering slowly with thick exoskeletons. Colors and shapes of all kinds made his human eyes work overtime, yet Evan's gaze remained steady. Focused on the container strapped securely to his back, he had carried it across 3 star systems and countless checkpoints. The container was small by galactic standards, yet its weight reminded him constantly that it was important. Inside, it held something no alien civilization had ever seen, something humans had developed through ingenuity and persistence. He could not afford to show it to anyone yet. As he walked through the market, Evan tried to avoid drawing attention. That proved almost impossible. Aliens of every type noticed the tall human with heavy boots and a rigid stride. Most ignored him, assuming he was just another trader or explorer. But some eyes lingered, curious or suspicious. Among them was a young alien girl, her skin a shifting shade of violet, eyes bright like liquid gold, and long antennae that twitched with excitement. Zyra, as she was known in the market, had a reputation. She enjoyed teasing strangers, especially those who seemed out of place. Her laughter was sharp, musical, and it carried across the crowded walkways like a bell. She saw Evan walking alone, with a small but heavy container strapped to his back. He moved carefully, avoiding collisions. Yet he did not slow his pace, even as market-goers jostled him. "Well, look at this," she said loudly, pointing at him. "The human thinks he belongs here." Aliens nearby turned to glance. Some chuckled, seeing her amusement. Evan did not look around. He kept his eyes forward, calm and silent. Zyra moved closer, hopping lightly over crates and stalls, her curiosity growing. "Is that all you're carrying? That little thing? Are humans always this? Awkward?" Evan finally stopped, not out of fear, but out of caution. He had learned that showing anger or surprise was often a mistake with aliens. Some thrived on intimidation, others on mockery. Patience was often the better weapon. "It's none of your concern," he said quietly, his voice steady. Betraying none of the tension that coursed through him, Zyra tilted her head, antennae twitching. "Oh, it's my concern now. I like to know what newcomers carry, especially when they look like they might fall apart under a sneeze." She laughed again, and this time a few market-goers joined in, whispering and pointing. Evan ignored them. He had faced worse in other star systems, hostile traders, suspicious customs officers, even a few predators on uninhabited moons. This was simple teasing. He had no intention of responding with the anger that humans sometimes used. Instead, he adjusted the strap of his container, ensuring it stayed secure, and continued walking. Zyra, however, was persistent. She matched his pace, keeping a few steps behind, her curiosity growing. "Come on, human," she called. "Don't be shy. Let me see what's inside. Maybe it's a trinket, or a snack, or, oh, what do humans even carry these days?" Evan glanced at her out of the corner of his eye. She was clever, fast, and observant, dangerous traits in an unpredictable galaxy, yet not hostile yet. "It's important." "I can't show it," he said calmly. Her laughter faded slightly, replaced by a spark of interest. "Important? Everything is important to someone. But humans? You carry things that look ordinary, yet you expect the universe to bow down. Am I right?" Evan said nothing. He did not need to answer. Action spoke louder than words. He moved with care, navigating the crowded market, weaving past alien merchants who sold glowing fruits, mechanical pets, and strange gadgets that made soft worry noises. The container on his back hummed faintly an ordinary hum, but he knew what it meant. It was alive with energy, ready to perform miracles if needed. Zyra followed silently for a moment, watching him. Then she called again. her voice a mix of mockery and challenge. "I've seen many humans. They all think they are clever. Some are most. Just stumble around and hope luck carries them. Which are you?" Evan stopped at a small platform overlooking the landing docks. Hovering ships rose and fell like metallic birds. He looked out at the horizon, where a pale blue sun bathed the city in a soft glow. Then he turned to her. "I don't rely on luck," he said simply. "I rely on preparation." Zyra tilted her head, a gesture aliens use to show curiosity and doubt at the same time. "Preparation, huh? And you think that little box is all the preparation you need?" Evan smiled faintly, not an expression of amusement, but of quiet confidence. He had learned over the years that arrogance was dangerous, but humility could be just as deceptive. Some creatures underestimated the quiet ones. Humans often use that to their advantage. The alien girl seemed intrigued despite herself. She had never seen a human who refused to react under ridicule. Most would have shouted, argued, or at least tried to show off. Evan's calm, his focus, his simple readiness, something about it made her antennae twitch with interest. "Follow me," he said finally, stepping toward a quieter corridor leading to the docking bay. His voice was calm but firm. Zyra hesitated for a moment. Most creatures would have fled or run off when faced with a human who did not flinch under mockery, but she did not. Instead, her curiosity drove her forward. As they walked, Evan noticed more than the girl realized. He observed the movements of traders, the shifts in hovering ships, the patterns of surveillance drones floating silently above. Humans had always had the advantage of observation, an ability to see details others overlooked. Today would be no different. Zyra struggled to keep her teasing tone, but her words softened as she tried to hide her growing respect. "You humans? Always so serious? Always carrying things like the universe depends on it. Are you sure you're not exaggerating?" Evan glanced at her, a faint smile on his lips. "I don't exaggerate. I prepare." They reached the edge of the docking bay where ships rested like great metallic beasts. The hum of engines mixed with the murmur of alien voices, the clinking of machinery, and the faint hiss of energy shields. Evan slowed his pace, checking the container again, ensuring every latch was secure. Zyra looked at it, suspicion mixed with fascination. She wanted to know what was inside, but something in his posture, the way he handled it, told her that prying might not end well. Humans, she realized, were unpredictable, and unpredictable creatures could be dangerous or incredible. "You could just show me," most as a test. "I won't tell anyone?" "Probably." Evan shook his head gently. "Not yet. Some things must be seen at the right time." "Not before." Zyra frowned, but said nothing. Instead, she studied him carefully, noticing the steadiness in his hands, the patience in his movements, the careful calculation in every step. Most aliens acted on impulse. Humans, at least this human, acted on reason and preparation. The dockmaster's voice echoed across the bay, announcing a ship departure. Evan glanced at the schedule, then at Zyra. "Stay out of trouble," he said simply, began moving toward his ship, his strides long and purposeful. Zyra followed, quietly this time. The mocking laughter was gone, replaced by intrigue. Something about this human was different. She had mocked strangers before, played tricks, tested newcomers, and yet never had she felt such a strong mixture of curiosity and caution. The two moved past crates of glowing minerals, mechanical drones, and strange beasts that gurgled softly. Evan's eyes were always forward, but he noticed Zyra shadowing him. Instead of annoyance, he felt a small sense of opportunity. Perhaps she could be useful, or perhaps she would be an ally. Time would tell. Finally, they reached the small ship Evan had rented for this part of his journey. It was not large, not flashy, but sturdy and reliable. The container's weight pressed against his back, a reminder of what he carried and what he must protect. Zyra stopped at the entrance, her eyes bright. "You really are carrying something special, aren't you?" Evan did not answer immediately. He unlocked the hatch, slid the container carefully inside, and secured it. Then he looked at her. "Yes, but it's not for showing." "Not yet." Zyra studied him, trying to guess what could be so important. Her mind raced with possibilities. Humans were clever, inventive, and fearless in ways most aliens could not imagine. She had mocked him before, but now? Now she wondered if she had underestimated him entirely. Evan climbed into the cockpit, starting the engines. The hum grew louder, blending with the station's ambient noise. "Let's go," he said simply, and the ship lifted smoothly into the air. Leaving the bustling market behind, Zyra watched him go, her thoughts a mix of respect and curiosity. She had mocked him at first, yes, but now she could not deny that this human carried something extraordinary, something she would never have guessed. And somehow, she knew this was only the beginning. The air in the docking corridor smelled of fuel and ozone as Evan Carr guided his small ship to a quiet hangar at the far end of the platform. The bustling marketplace was now far behind him, placed by the low hum of energy shields and the occasional hiss of machinery. He moved with calm precision, careful not to jostle the container strapped to his back. Its weight was reassuring, a constant reminder of the responsibility he carried. Zyra had followed him quietly, keeping her distance but never losing sight of him. She had no ship of her own here, so she moved through the corridors with the ease of a native, slipping past guards and traders without drawing attention. She was determined to uncover the secret of the human, no matter how much he resisted. Evan reached the hangar and slid the container carefully onto a small platform beside his ship. Its metallic surface gleamed faintly under the dim lights, and a soft, almost imperceptible hum vibrated from it. He checked the locks and energy seals one more time, ensuring everything was secure. Zyra stepped out of the shadows, her golden eyes glinting with curiosity. "You know," she said, trying to sound casual, "most aliens would have shown something by now. A human like you? You're different. Not just quiet, but careful, calculated. It's annoying." Evan glanced at her briefly, his expression calm. "Careful is necessary," he said. "Not everything can be revealed at once. Some things must be seen at the right moment." Zyra tilted her head, antennae twitching in thought. "Right moment, huh? That's convenient. You humans always talk like that. You think patience makes you cleverer than the rest of us. But sometimes it's just—" She paused, searching for a word. "Annoying." Evan did not respond. Instead, he activated a small interface on the container. Soft blue lights danced across its surface as data streamed into the ship's navigation system. The container was more than just a box. It was a marvel of human engineering, capable of tasks that could revolutionize alien technology. He kept his movements deliberate, careful, knowing that revealing even a hint could invite trouble. Zyra watched closely, curiosity mixing with disbelief. She had seen advanced technology before, but humans were different. They created devices that seemed simple on the outside but contained layers of intelligence, and functioned far beyond what aliens could comprehend. Her initial mocking faded, replaced by a growing fascination. "You're hiding something," she said finally, stepping closer. "Something important. I can see it in the way you handle that thing. Most creatures would fumble or make noise. You move like you own it, but quietly. Why?" Evan did not answer immediately. Instead, he studied her carefully, recognizing the mixture of mockery, curiosity, and growing respect in her gaze. "It's not mine to show yet," he said finally. "Not until the right time. And you must learn patience, Zyra. Curiosity alone is not enough." Her eyes narrowed, and a small smirk formed on her face. "Patience, huh? Let me guess. Humans invented that too, right? So you can trick others into thinking you're calm while you actually know everything." Evan smiled faintly. "Not everything. Just enough." Zyra laughed, a sharp musical sound that echoed in the hangar. "Clever human. Always calm. Always ready. But don't think I'll leave it alone. I will see what you're carrying, even if I have to follow you across the galaxy." Evan nodded slightly, as if expecting her to say that. "Then follow carefully," he said. "But remember, some things are dangerous to discover before you're ready." She blinked at him, startled. Most humans would have taken offense or laughed. But Evan's tone was serious, calm, and deliberate. Zyra realized he was not bluffing. There was something in that container worth guarding. And if he warned her seriously, It must be extraordinary. For the next hour, they moved through the hangar complex. Evan checked the docking interfaces, prepped the ship's systems, and ensured the container was fully integrated with the ship's energy grid. Each movement was smooth, precise, and efficient. Zyra followed, careful not to touch anything, but studying every action with intense interest. "You know," she said finally, after a few minutes of silence, "most humans I've met are loud. They shout, they argue, they make a scene. You're different, quiet, patient, calculated. Why?" Evan paused for a moment, considering the question. "Loudness doesn't solve problems," he said simply. "Observation does. Preparation does. Patience does. Humans have learned that the universe is full of surprises. We survive because we anticipate them, not because we react to them blindly." Zira tilted her head, impressed despite herself. "Survive, huh? And yet you carry that thing as if the universe depends on it. Is it that important?" Evan glanced at the container, a faint glow reflecting in his eyes. "Yes," he said, "it is. And not just for me. One day it might change the way many civilizations live and work." The words made Zyra pause. Change the way civilizations live. She had heard of strange human inventions before, but this sounded bigger. Much bigger. And suddenly, the teasing tone in her mind began to shift toward respect. Perhaps humans were more than they seemed. Perhaps this human was more than he seemed, as they reached the ship. Evan began uploading data from the container into the ship's main computer. Soft lights pulsed along the walls as energy flowed smoothly, almost silently, into the systems. Zyra watched in awe, trying to understand how a human could carry something so powerful, yet appear so calm and ordinary. "You really are something else," she said finally, her voice quieter now, almost reverent. "I thought humans were simple, but you..." Her words trailed off. She realized that mockery would not serve her here. This human was not ordinary. Evan finished the setup and turned to her. "You may not understand it yet, Zyra, but you will. And when you do, you will see why patience is necessary." She frowned slightly, but she did not challenge him. Instead, she studied him carefully, realizing that humans were not always predictable. They were clever, persistent, and capable of things no one expected. And Evan seemed to embody all of that. The quiet tension between them lasted only a few moments, before a sudden alarm blared across the hangar. The sensors had detected an unauthorized energy signature near the outer docks. Evan's eyes narrowed. "Stay here," he said calmly, even as he moved toward the source. "It may be nothing, but I must check." Zyra's curiosity flared. "Nothing? Humans never say nothing. What is it?" Evan shook his head. "Some things must be handled first. Explanations come later." He moved quickly, efficiently, and with purpose. Zyra followed, careful to stay hidden behind crates and machinery. As they approached the outer docks, a small group of alien scavengers was attempting to hack a nearby ship's energy core. Their intentions were clear. They wanted to steal technology, to exploit what they could not understand. Evan's hands moved over the controls of his ship with smooth precision. With a few taps and adjustments, he activated a small defensive shield around the container, locking it safely. Then, using the ship's energy manipulator, he remotely disabled the scavengers' hacking tools. The aliens looked shocked, retreating quickly, as the humans' technology neutralized their efforts without causing harm. Zyra's mouth fell open. You just... How did you do that?" Evan turned to her, calm and composed. "Preparation, observation, action at the right moment. Humans survive by thinking ahead, not by panicking." Her eyes widened. For the first time, she truly understood that the human she had mocked was not ordinary. He carried something incredible, yes, but more importantly, he carried the qualities that made humans extraordinary: intelligence, patience, and courage under pressure. Zyra realized she had underestimated him completely. The teasing, the laughter, was gone. In its place was awe and a newfound respect. She had mocked him, yes, but now she wanted to understand. She wanted to see what he carried. Evan finished securing the container, his movements calm and deliberate. The right time to show it will come, he said quietly. Until then, patience is required. Zyra nodded silently. She did not challenge him this time. Instead, she followed, curious and respectful, eager to learn more about the human who had quietly outsmarted danger without a single raised voice. The small ship lifted smoothly from the dock, engines humming, carrying Evan and his mysterious container toward the next stage of their journey. Zyra watched as it disappeared into the distance, knowing that she had only begun to uncover the remarkable capabilities of humanity for the first time. She realized that mocking a human could lead to surprises, far greater than she had imagined, and she could not wait to see what came next. The small ship glided silently above the surface of Clither, leaving the noisy spaceport far behind. Inside, Evan Carr moved with careful precision, checking systems and monitoring the container that had caused so much curiosity and mockery earlier. The soft hum of its energy filled the cabin, a quiet reminder of the secret it held. Zyra had climbed aboard using her natural agility when Evan had stopped for a refueling check at an outlying dock. She hid in the shadows at first, watching him work. She could not help herself. The pull of curiosity was too strong. Unlike other humans she had encountered, Evan did not seem annoyed or surprised by her presence. Instead, he moved calmly, almost as if he expected her to be there. "You really don't mind me following you?" she said quietly. Stepping out of the shadows, Evan looked at her calmly, his expression unreadable. "I expected you might," he replied. "You are curious, and curiosity can be useful." "If it is guided," Zyra frowned slightly. "Guided. I think I can handle my curiosity myself. I just want to know. What is inside that container?" Evan shook his head slightly. "Not yet. Some things must be revealed at the right moment. Showing it too soon could create misunderstanding, or worse." Zyra crossed her arms. "You humans always talk about timing, don't you? Right moment, patience, observation, enough with the talk. I want to see it." Evan smiled faintly. "Patience is not talk. It is preparation. Understanding comes from waiting, watching, and learning first. You may see it soon enough." Despite herself, Zyra was impressed. This human seemed more than just clever. He was confident, calm, and prepared for situations most aliens would panic in. She realized that her initial mockery had been shallow. Humans, like Evan, were more dangerous, more capable than she had ever imagined. The ship passed over the jagged terrain of Clither, where mountains of crystal rose like jagged teeth. Evan guided the vessel toward a secluded canyon, a place few aliens had ever ventured. The canyon's walls were dotted with hidden caves and natural formations, perfect for privacy. He brought the ship down smoothly onto a flat ledge near a crystalline river. Zyra stepped out first this time, her eyes widening at the view. Light reflected off the crystals in every color imaginable, and the water of the river shimmered with an unusual glow. She had never seen a landscape so beautiful, so alien, yet peaceful. Evan set the container carefully on the ground. He moved with the precision of someone who had done this many times before, adjusting small stabilizers on the container and checking energy readings. The hum grew slightly louder, a vibration that seemed almost alive. Zyra's curiosity burned. "All right," she said, stepping closer. "I have waited this long. Just show me. I promise I won't touch anything." Evan looked at her, then at the container. "Very well. But you must watch carefully, and you must understand that what you see is only a part of what humans are capable of." With steady hands, Evan released the locks on the container. Its metallic surface split open smoothly, revealing a device unlike anything Zyra had ever seen. At first glance, it looked simple or small. Compact structure of polished metal and glowing circuits, but its power was immediately apparent. Humming lines of energy connected parts of the device, and a faint, pulsing light moved along its core. Zyra stepped back slightly, stunned. What is that?" she whispered. Evan's eyes glinted with quiet pride. "This is a human technology designed to repair and enhance machinery instantly. Starships, energy grids, even small devices." It adapts to what it touches, fixes what is broken, and optimizes performance far beyond standard methods. You're saying, it can fix ships instantly? Evan nodded. Not just fix, improve, make systems more efficient, safer, and stronger. Humans designed it after years of trial, error, and observation. We use it not because we are stronger, but because we understand systems in ways others do not. The girl's golden eyes widened as she circled the device carefully. She touched nothing, but her mind raced with possibilities. I thought humans were just clever with simple tools. But this is extraordinary. Evan smiled faintly. We are clever because we must be. Survival depends on it. An invention is our way of ensuring that survival continues, not just for ourselves, but for others if we choose to share it. Zyra's tone softened, a mixture of awe and disbelief. I mocked you. Before, I thought you were ordinary. But now, I see that I was completely wrong, humans. You are more than I imagined. Evan nodded. Underestimation is common. Many species assume that strength or size is what matters. Humans have learned that patience, observation, and creativity often matter more. She leaned closer, examining the device. How did you even carry this across so many systems without anyone stealing it or noticing? Evan's expression was calm, almost amused. Careful planning. Knowledge of paths, timing, and the behavior of others. Awareness is as important as strength. Zyra's antennae twitched, a sign of deep thought among her kind. She realized that humans were underestimated not because they were weak, but because others refused to see the full extent of their abilities. This quiet human had carried something revolutionary without drawing attention, without losing control, and without relying on brute force. For a long moment, neither spoke. The canyon was silent, except for the hum of the device and the soft gurgle of the crystalline river. Then Zyra broke the silence. If other aliens saw this, they would be terrified. They would try to steal it, misuse it, or destroy it out of fear. Evan nodded. That is why it is not shown to everyone. Some things must remain hidden until they can be understood. Humans have learned that trust is earned, not demanded. Zyra looked at him carefully. And you trust me to see this? Evan considered her for a moment. I do not fully trust anyone yet. But curiosity guided by respect is worth observing. You may learn from this, Zyra, if you are willing to understand rather than judge. Her chest swelled slightly with pride. She had started this journey mocking him, teasing him, but now she felt respect and even a small spark of admiration. She realized that underestimating humans was a mistake she would not make again. Evan activated the device fully. A small model ship he had brought for demonstration sat nearby, deliberately damaged to simulate a real-world situation. Soft energy beams extended from the human device, enveloping the ship. Cracks sealed, circuits realigned, and the small vessel seemed to hum with new life. Zyra's eyes widened further. It's repaired itself. And faster than I could have imagined. Evan nodded. And improved. Notice the energy distribution is now optimized. The ship will perform more efficiently than before the damage occurred. Zyra stepped back, awestruck. Humans. You are incredible. Evan's expression was calm. Humans survive not because we are the strongest, but because we learn, adapt, and innovate. That is our strength. It is something many underestimate until they see it for themselves. The girl looked at him in awe. She had mocked him before, laughed at his awkward stride, and assumed he carried nothing more than a trivial box. Now she understood that humans carried not just technology, but ingenuity, patience, and determination. Qualities that could surpass any physical advantage or flashy weapon. Evan carefully closed the container, securing the device. This is only a small example, he said. The full potential of humans is not just in one device, but in our minds, our creativity, and our will to solve problems, no matter how impossible they seem. Zyra's eyes softened. She had learned a lesson she would not forget. Mockery had no place here. Respect, curiosity, and understanding were what mattered. I was wrong to judge you, she admitted. I thought humans were simple. I see now that you are remarkable. Evan nodded. Understanding often comes from observation, not assumption. You will see more if you continue to watch and learn. The canyon fell silent again, the soft hum of the container fading as its energy stabilized. Zira remained close, her mind racing with thoughts about human ingenuity. For the first time, she felt that humans were not just another species to trade or mock. They were a force to respect, a species capable of feats no alien civilization had yet imagined. And Evan, he was a living example of that truth. Calm, patient, observant, and clever. He carried not only a device that could change civilizations, but also the quiet confidence and wisdom that made humans extraordinary, Zira realized. She had witnessed the first true HFY moment of her life, seeing a human underestimated by others, yet quietly proving that they could surpass expectations with intelligence, patience, and courage. And she knew without a doubt that her journey with this human had only just begun. The morning sun cast pale light over the sprawling alien city of Clither, bathing the market district in shades of gold and violet. Word had traveled fast. Rumors of the human, who carried a mysterious, powerful device, had spread through the market like wildfire. Traders whispered to each other, pointing toward the docks and discussing the strange events of the previous day. Many had doubted his abilities, mocking him openly. Now, a quiet awe had taken root in their voices. Zira moved through the crowd, her golden eyes scanning the bustling corridors. She felt a strange mix of pride and curiosity. She had followed Evan through docks, hangars, and even dangerous terrain, and now she had seen firsthand the power humans could wield not through brute force, but through intelligence, patience, and ingenuity. The market had changed subtly since yesterday. Aliens who had laughed at Evan now glanced his way with cautious respect. Some even stepped aside to allow him a clear path. The air was charged with whispers of the human who had repaired a ship instantly and neutralized scavengers without harming them. Zira finally caught sight of him near the outer docks, preparing his ship for another journey. Evan moved with calm precision, adjusting the container and checking the ship's systems. Even here, in the midst of curious and cautious onlookers, he seemed unfazed by attention. She approached him carefully, trying to balance her respect with her natural boldness. "You're amazing," she said softly, not wanting to shout and draw unnecessary attention. "Yesterday, I thought you were just ordinary, but now, humans are incredible." Evan glanced at her with a faint smile. "I told you patience and observation are key. Some things must be understood, not assumed." Zira nodded. "I understand now. But the others, they will try to interfere. They will want what you carry." Evan's expression remained calm. "Let them watch. Understanding comes first. If they are ready, they will learn. If not, we move on. Human survival depends on preparation and focus, not on pleasing others." The hum of his container filled the quiet morning air, a reminder of the incredible power it held. Zia glanced at it, fascinated. Its design was sleek, efficient, and clever, exactly what she had seen in action yesterday. She had begun to realize that humans had a way of seeing solutions others could not, combining creativity with patience in ways that made them exceptional as they moved toward the main market. A group of aliens approached cautiously. One was a large trader, covered in emerald scales and wearing heavy polished armor. He stopped a few meters from Evan, eyeing him and the container. "I heard the stories," the alien said in a low, rumbling voice. "The human who carries the impossible. Can it be true?" Evan looked at him calmly, assessing the alien's intentions. "You will see nothing now," he said quietly. "The device is not for public display." Zira stepped forward, sensing the tension. "He is not lying," she said. "I have seen it work. It is beyond anything you can imagine, but it is not yours to claim." The trader's eyes narrowed, but he seemed to understand that confrontation would not succeed. Slowly, he stepped back, muttering to his companions. The whispers spread quickly through the market. Turning from ridicule to cautious respect, Zyra turned to Evan, curiosity and admiration clear in her expression. How do you remain so calm? You don't even raise your voice. You just handle it. Evan smiled faintly. Humans have learned that calmness often solves more problems than anger or confrontation. Observation, patience, and preparation are our strengths. We act when necessary, not when provoked. The two of them walked through the market, and the difference in treatment was clear. Aliens who had laughed at Evan before now stepped aside, some bowing slightly or nodding in acknowledgement. Even those who could not hide their surprise whispered among themselves. Humans were no longer just another species to observe. They were a force to be respected. Zyra felt a new sense of understanding about her species' biases. Many aliens had underestimated humans for generations, thinking them physically weak or insignificant. Yet here was a single human, quiet, unassuming, and yet capable of feats beyond most alien civilizations' understanding. She realized that human strength lay not in muscle or size, but in the mind and the will to survive and innovate. Evan approached a small demonstration area set up for safe testing of his device. He had arranged a series of damaged alien drones and machinery. Carefully, he activated the container, and soft beams of energy flowed from it, pairing and optimizing each device with quiet efficiency. The air hummed with the soft pulse of energy, mesmerizing all who watched. Zyra's eyes widened as aliens stopped to stare. Their initial skepticism was replaced by awe. One elder, covered in silver fur, and with eyes like molten gold, whispered to a companion, "I have underestimated humans. That device, it is beyond anything we have seen." Evan remained calm, focused on his work. He did not boast. He allowed the results to speak for themselves. The repaired drones moved with new precision. Machines hummed efficiently. And even the smallest devices glowed with renewed energy. The human's patience and skill were evident in every movement. Zyra approached him quietly. "They are impressed," she said softly. "Even those who mocked you before. They're watching now." Vaughn nodded. "Respect is earned, not demanded." Humans have learned that understanding and demonstration often speak louder than words. The crowd continued to grow, and murmurs of admiration filled the air. Aliens began asking questions, wanting to know more about the technology, about humans, and about how such a small device could perform miracles. Evan answered carefully, revealing only what was necessary to demonstrate the principles behind the device. Without giving away its full potential, Zyra realized that humans had a unique approach to influence. They did not demand respect. They earned it through intelligence, patience, and action. This was something few alien civilizations understood. As the demonstration concluded, Evan secured the container once more. The crowd dispersed slowly, their whispers now filled with curiosity and respect rather than mockery. Zyra looked at him, her admiration clear. "You've changed their minds. They respect you now." Evan nodded. Respect is not about fear or intimidation. It is about showing capability, consistency, and integrity. Humans understand that well. Zyra smiled, realizing that her journey with him had taught her more than she expected. She had started by mocking him, but now she saw clearly why humans could survive and thrive in ways others underestimated. Their strength was not visible in physical form. It was in patience, intelligence, and ingenuity. "Where do we go next?" she asked, eager to continue learning. Evan glanced at the horizon. "There are others who will need understanding before they can see our work. We continue carefully, always observing, always preparing. Humans thrive by thinking ahead." As they walked back to the ship, the market resumed its usual activity, but the energy had shifted. Humans were no longer simply visitors. They were remarkable, unpredictable, and capable of feats no alien had yet imagined. Evan's calm, measured actions had left a mark on everyone who witnessed them. Zyra stayed close, her respect for him growing. She understood that humans did not seek recognition. They earned it quietly, consistently, and effectively. She had begun to see the truth. Humans could achieve incredible things when underestimated. And Evan was living proof. The ship lifted from the dock, carrying Evan, Zyra, and the mysterious container toward new horizons. The market slowly faded beneath them, whispers of admiration lingering in the air. Zira knew one thing for certain: the galaxy would not underestimate humans for long. They had begun to see the cleverness, patience, and ingenuity that made humans extraordinary, and she was proud to witness it firsthand. The Clither Trade Council chamber was massive, larger than any human building Evan had ever seen. High above, light streamed through transparent energy panels, casting soft, multicolored patterns across the polished floors. Delegates from dozens of alien civilizations had gathered, their eyes fixed on the small human and the device he had carried across star systems. Evan stepped into the chamber calmly, Zyra by his side. The whispers that followed them through the hall were hushed, but unmistakable. Everyone had heard the rumors. The human who carried a device capable of feats far beyond alien technology. The human who had faced danger without fear. And the human who had earned respect through intelligence rather than force. Zyra's golden eyes were wide, a mix of pride and excitement. "They are all watching," she said softly. "Even the most skeptical aliens. What do you plan to do?" Evan glanced at her calmly. "Demonstrate. Let them see the potential for themselves." Humans earn recognition not through boasting, but through action. Set the container carefully on the demonstration platform. Soft blue lights pulsed from it, illuminating the chamber with an almost hypnotic glow. The energy was quiet but undeniable, a reminder of the extraordinary human engineering it contained. The council members leaned forward, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. One elder, a towering creature with crystalline skin, whispered to a colleague, "If the reports are true, this human may have surpassed all expectations." Evan addressed the chamber, his voice steady and clear. "I am Evan Carr, a human explorer. What I carry is a technology designed to repair, optimize, and enhance machinery and energy systems. It is a product of human ingenuity, patience, and understanding. I ask only that you observe and consider its possibilities." He activated the device. A small, damaged alien ship hovering above the chamber immediately began to glow with soft energy beams. Cracks and dents sealed themselves. Circuits realigned. Energy flowed smoothly and efficiently. Within moments, the ship gleamed as if newly built. Gasps echoed across the chamber. Delegates whispered among themselves, some unable to hide their awe. "It is impossible," murmured one. "No device could perform repair so quickly without human intervention," said another. Zyra stepped forward, introducing Evan. "I once mocked him," she said, her voice carrying across the room. "I thought humans were simple, but I have seen the power of their intelligence, patience, and creativity. What you see here is only a glimpse of what humans can achieve when underestimated. Respect, not fear, guides their actions." The chamber fell silent. Even those who had doubted or mocked humans now looked at Evan with admiration. Some bowed slightly, others nodded, and a few took notes. Realizing that humans were more than a curiosity, they were a species. Capable of changing the galaxy, Evan continued his demonstration. He repaired drones, optimized energy grids, and improved the efficiency of smaller devices placed around the room. Every action was deliberate, calm, and precise. He did not rush. He did not boast. The results spoke for themselves. The elder with crystalline skin finally spoke, his voice resonant. "Humans, you have shown us something remarkable. Not through strength, but through intelligence and patience. You have earned our respect." Evan nodded politely. "Respect is earned, not demanded. Humans understand that observation, preparation, and action create opportunities, not confrontation." Zyra watched him, her admiration growing. She realized that humans' greatest power was not in physical strength or flashy technology, but in the combination of intelligence, patience, and the ability to act when the time was right. Evan had carried not just a device, but the essence of what made humans extraordinary. The council members asked questions, seeking to understand the device's principles, its limits, and its potential applications. Evan answered carefully, revealing enough to demonstrate its capabilities without compromising the technology. Each answer highlighted human ingenuity, the ability to solve problems creatively and efficiently. As the session continued, the mood in the chamber shifted completely. Aliens who had once mocked humans now saw them as partners, collaborators, and innovators. Even the skeptics could not deny the quiet brilliance of a species capable of achieving such feats through intelligence and preparation. Zira leaned close to Evan. "You've done it. They see humans differently now. Even the most stubborn skeptics cannot ignore what you've demonstrated." Evan nodded. "It is not about changing their minds entirely. It is about showing what humans can achieve when underestimated. The rest will follow if they observe carefully and think critically." The demonstration concluded, and the container was secured once more. The delegates approached, some to ask for further explanations, others simply to witness the human and the device up close. Each interaction reinforced the idea that humans were capable of feats beyond imagination, not through brute force, but through ingenuity, patience, and the will to innovate. One delegate, a small creature with luminous wings, approached Evan cautiously. "Human, your device has inspired us. Your species. It has potential that far exceeds our previous understanding. We wish to collaborate." Evan nodded calmly. Collaboration is only valuable when mutual understanding exists. Humans share knowledge when it can be used wisely and responsibly. Zira smiled. She had started this journey mocking him, teasing him, and doubting his abilities. Now, she saw clearly why humans had survived, thrived, and gained respect across the galaxy. They earned it quietly, with intelligence, patience, and action, rather than force or intimidation. As the council meeting ended, delegates offered partnership, recognition, and collaboration with humanity. The human reputation had shifted completely from underappreciated outsiders to respected innovators. Evan had carried not just a device, but a symbol of what humans could achieve. Outside the chamber, Zira turned to him. "Do you ever get tired of being underestimated?" she asked. Evan smiled faintly. "Underestimation can be useful. It allows humans to act without interference, to prepare, and to achieve more than others expect. It is not weakness. It is opportunity." Zira nodded thoughtfully. She understood now that human strength was not always visible. It was quiet, deliberate, and powerful in ways that others could not predict. The city of Clither buzzed with new energy that day. Aliens who had once mocked humans now spoke with curiosity and admiration. Humans were no longer just visitors. They were innovators, problem solvers, and partners in a galaxy that had long underestimated them. Evan secured the container carefully on his ship. It hummed softly, a reminder of the power and responsibility it carried. Zira stood beside him, her eyes bright with understanding and respect. Together, they prepared for the next stage of their journey. Knowing that humans had begun to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of, as the ship lifted from the platform, leaving Clither station behind, Evan glanced at Zira. "The galaxy is full of challenges," he said. "But humans have learned to observe, prepare, and act. That is how we survive. That is how we thrive. And that is how we are respected." Zira smiled. She had mocked him once, doubted him, and even tried to challenge him. But now, she understood. Humans were extraordinary not because of size, strength, or weapons, but because of intelligence, patience, and courage. Evan had carried proof of that, and now the galaxy knew it too. As stars stretched out before them, Zira felt a sense of awe. The human she had once mocked had shown her the full extent of what humans could accomplish. And she knew that their journey was only beginning. Somewhere, across countless star systems, others would underestimate humans again. And somewhere, humans would quietly surpass expectations once more, just as they always had. Evan looked ahead, focused on the path before him. The container was secure, the technology safe, and the galaxy open for discovery. Humans were underestimated, yes, but that was their advantage. They carried not just machines, but the quiet power of creativity, patience, and determination. And now, the galaxy had begun to recognize it. Zira leaned back, watching him with newfound admiration. "You really are something, Evan. I mocked you before. But now, I see why humans are respected." Evan smiled faintly. "Respect is earned, Zira. Observation, preparation, and action are what make humans extraordinary. Remember that." The ship soared into the starry expanse, carrying humans and their remarkable ingenuity further into the galaxy. And for the first time, Zyra understood that the true power of humans was not in what they carried, but in who they were. The galaxy had witnessed a human's quiet brilliance, and it would never underestimate humanity again.